A lot of home service businesses do not lay a really strong foundation for marketing. Today, I'll be breaking down ways you can build that foundation and not jump into wasting money on ads right away. Marketing is the fuel for any business to grow to $500,000 to $1 million and beyond. It's that fundamental and crucial for you to be able to grow your business. I'm Lamar Capehart with Stevens Lawn Care, and we really start honing in on SEO and different marketing tactics over the last year, and I can't wait to explain some of the basics that I know. I'll admit that it's probably going to be a part 2 to this, where I can go behind the scenes and show some of the tools that I use that I've really found helpful, which I've also coached other business owners on how to use and grow their company. So one of the things is building a great foundation, and part of that foundation is a website. So we used GoDaddy for a while. GoDaddy was not good for SEO. I think they have an SEO package. I don't think it ranks well, but that's just my opinion. I wouldn't go that route. I would recommend you have a WordPress built site. If you're really savvy with building websites, you can probably build it yourself. There's a lot of custom templates out there. Otherwise, you can go to a service. We're using home service web design. There are other companies such as Footbridge Media that work with home service design companies, and they're pretty affordable. I think Footbridge Media starts at about $250 a month, and home service web design is about $500 a month. But it's worth it for the return you'll get building that foundation. So you build your website out, and then you'll build your Google, Facebook, and Bing profiles fully out. So putting your name, changing the logo, adding photos, putting a description of what you're doing, services that you offer, and be a little active on that. Any of these you may be posting once a week or twice a month or something, just something that shows that the profile is active. So this is some of the foundational work you want to do. Google is one of the best organic lead generation platforms out there, and you want to make sure you get your Google profile verified. Typically right now, I think you have to do a video. There's a lot of videos out there on YouTube to show you how to do it, but basically you got to show the street that you're at, walk to your vehicle or your shop space, put the key in there, make sure it's branded and things like that that show ownership, so you can go ahead and get that verified. I think back in the day they used to just send a postcard. You want to add photos. The tip there would be to add photos of yourself or your team doing work, so it looks like it's humans doing it, not just pictures of, say, the grass or the sidewalk being blown off. That could be photos from anywhere. You want to fill out every section, so the services, the descriptions, and your locations, things like that. Get that profile fully filled out. Then you want to get reviews. So get 30+ reviews. Hopefully they're positive reviews. Make sure you query those customers that's really happy with your services. Send them a text, send them an email, get your friends and family to drop reviews. Now with the friends and family, even if they haven't used their service, they can talk about you, the owner. So they can say, I really love the team there or whatever, and they can leave you a 5-star. So go ahead and get those reviews as fast as possible so that you can start ranking on the maps. Again, I will have a video that I'll break it down better, but there's map rankings. So you want to be in that 3-pack or the Google map pack where you pop up if someone searches HVAC, plumbing, AV installs or lawn care. You want to pop up there, and a lot of people are using that. And I want to emphasize that having a really good website and Google are very critical. Everyone wants leads, but they don't want to take care of this. If you have younger kids or maybe cousins or nieces or nephews, maybe they can help you with this digital stuff. But it's very important, as we're in this day and age are all digital based. And I'll touch on the AI later, but yes, AI is coming and taking over, but it still uses a lot of the SEO principles when it's suggesting businesses to the user. There's a few different types of marketing. You can do outreach, which is calls and emails. In our case, we would call, say, realtors, property managers, things like that, or email them as well to try to see if they're interested in any work. You got networking. You can do your local chamber or whatever city that your business is in, joining BNI groups or other groups that's local. You have paid advertising. That'd be your pay-per-click for Google or LSAs, or boosting social media posts. That's paid, trying to get eyeballs on your advertisement. You got organic, which would be like your SEO, your Google profile popping up, things like that. And you have print. This is your door hangers that help with density, magazines, and EDDM. So that's every door direct mail, where they send out mailers and to each home, where some places you can't, canvas or put out a door hanger. You would send postcards to each address where you want to kind of break into. Now, all these have pros and cons. Just touching on those briefly. I'm really going to focus on this organic SEO on this video, but you can do all of these. I'll probably be doing a mix of networking, paid, and organic next year. A little bit of the print. We haven't had much luck with print, and I tried for a few years. Magazines are horrible. EDDM, I think it depends on what area you're in and what you're servicing or what you're serving. But when you're a smaller company, like the audience that I'll have here, if you're under $1 million, it's a gamble with these because you have to do it at volume. So with EDDM, let's say you got to get $5,000 worth of postcards, and you got to hope with a lot of these you're going to get a 1% or so return. As far as calls, you might not even get those customers. So in that case, you might get 50 customers to a call, and that's when your close rate comes in, where you would get 50% of them. So hopefully you get 25. But how much did it cost to get that and send that out? Same thing with door hangers, depending on the time of year and if the offer is good enough, what your response rate is. So print media is hit and miss for me. Definitely in this digital age, I really believe that these other ones work really well. But hey, this is how you do it. If you can do all of these, great. If you got a team that can do outbound, if you got a team that can go networking or you're networking, you have the budget to market every month, and you have a really strong organic base, and then you can do door hanger seasonal. That's a great marketing strategy. As mentioned, I'm real big on organic strategy first, only because I didn't know all this. We've been in business a few years. I had no idea the power of organic. For example, in my case, we've gone up 40% in leads by focusing on our organic growth over the last year. I've also advised a smaller AV company. They've doubled in size. I have larger companies that's multi-million really pushing this agenda, and they've doubled as well. It's not saying the other strategies don't work, but we're talking about foundation building. You get this right, let's say right now in 6 months, you'll be getting a lot more leads than you are getting today. And you can still do the paid advertisement, but you really got to have this done well. You also don't want to have a paid advertisement that's going to a bad website. Therefore, you're not going to be converting really strongly. You really want to focus on this organic stuff. So the organic traffic compounds, so every new piece of content. And now with AI, with Google Overview and ChatGPT, every piece of content increases your visibility. So whether that's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So we do YouTube, we post weekly, just something of our guys doing work. You guys can find that for Stevens Lawn Care. But we have trimming videos, mowing videos, mulch videos. We just put a lot of that content out there. We go ahead and add a description and put proper tags in there. It serves two purposes. One, it gets more stuff on the internet, but two, it gives potential customers somewhere to see our actual work. And we got tons of videos out there so they can really see, oh, these guys are doing this type of work. They're a real company. We have our branded shirts. We have our trucks in the background. I've wrote a few blogs. So blogs are evergreen. They just stay out there and it points back to your website, which will help with your website SEO strength. So you're gonna write these blogs or have a writer write them for you. And that just helps your organic growth. And of course, with your website being built out, where you're going to use home service web design or say Footbridge Media, as I suggested, if you can't build it yourself, H1 tags are very important. This is what people actually search. So in our situation, it's lawn care. So we'll want to have an H1 tag, which means the title of that web page, say lawn care in Spring Hill or lawn care in Brooksville. So whatever little cities that you have around you, you want to make sure H1 tags are good. Again, a website company will know how to go about this. You want to build out your directories for this. So the directories are stuff like Better Business Bureau, Bing, Yelp, Google. All those things are going to be pointing back to your website or your company, and that's called your name, address, and phone number. All of those things being the same because it's going to reference your website and tell Google it's to be trusted. So this is how you build that organic strategy out. Again, I'll break this down in more details, but what you can use for this directory is BrightLocal. It's a service or a website you can go to. I think you spend like $100 and you can get into 60 directories. And then you have your branded trucks and uniforms. So you want to look good, and if you're working in a neighborhood, pressure washing again, or doing any type of landscape, you have that truck outside or that van outside, and it has your logo and your phone number on the side. Those people know and recognize you from the branding tactics there. And then keeping your Google page active. And the way all this will tie in together, as I mentioned, is the action items for you guys is to get someone to build that website. So let's say in our case, we're spending $500 a month. Spend $100 a month to get those local directories. We've already done that. You do the one time to brand your trucks. If you letter it, it's a little cheaper. So in our case, if we do a full truck wrap, it's like $3,000. But if you do a lettering, so we have two trucks that we lettered the side, the doors, and the phone number. In those situations, it was only $400. So $400 for that, $500 for the website, $100 for the directories, and then you just whatever shirts that you're gonna get. Google is free, so you got less than $1,000 and you get this organic stuff done. Now it will be reoccurring for the website. but the rest of the stuff would be done already. And now you're gonna go ahead and get that increase. Like I said, we had a 40% bump, and you can see some type of increase. I can promise you that. I don't know what it could be 10%, it could be triple or double the clients. I don't know, but I think getting this down, a lot of companies, I mean, a lot of people I talk to have no idea the power of this. So the alternative is you take that $1,000 I just mentioned, and someone convinces you to put it in social media, where you didn't build a good copy, you didn't make a really good ad, and you don't have a good website for them to go in. So then you don't even really get the customers. So you just lost all that money by paying for those ads, the same way you can do with pay-per-click. So I really, really believe in this organic first strategy. So hopefully these give you guys some ideas of where you can start or what you need to work on, and you can take this information and run with it. I know it's gonna be quite overwhelming. That's why we have a school community group that you can join, which is Home Service Scalers. We have a lot of videos and workbooks and other content that'll help you grow and scale your company. We touch on things like pricing and marketing. I would join that community. I have the information below. Hopefully this video is very helpful for you guys. A lot of people jump into those ads. I really think you need to build the organic first. Take some of these lessons and run with it. I will have a video where I break it down in a little bit more detail and actually show you, say, our website, that BrightLocal tool, SEMrush, which is like Hrefs, where you can look into all the analytics on the back end to see how your company is faring in the local area.